In the last video, we explored the possibilities of URL actions, which we used to show the city for shipping the order, but it could be leveraged to do so much more and even integrate with other web systems, internally or externally. In this video, we'll look at two other dashboard actions, filters and highlighting. Filter actions between dashboards are effectively a drill-down tool to guide your audience from one viz to another, more detailed viz. We've used filter actions in the past on the same dashboard, and that functionality works similarly when you select a different dashboard as the target sheet. Instead of rehashing this, we'll look at another use for filter actions, jumping between sheets. We're going to pair this with a highlight filter to get the effect we're looking for, which is to jump to another sheet and then highlight a certain set of marks on that sheet. For example, we want to highlight just the medium orders on the other sheet. We jump to the other sheet, and now the medium orders are highlighted. So first, let's create a filter action from the 4 bar charts on the service level dashboard to both sheets on the detail dashboard. We go to Dashboard, Actions, Add Action, Filter. We want our source sheet to be Dashboard 1, any of the bar sheets, not the combo chart. Our target sheet should be Dashboard 2, both sheets. We want it to run on select, so when we click on the bar, clearing the selection should show all values. And then we want to target all fields. Let's hit OK. So now when we click on medium, our dashboard is switched to Dashboard 2 and filtered to only show the medium order priorities. Now this is nice drill down functionality, but what we want is this to still see the entire picture with just these highlighted. So let's go back to our dashboard actions, and if you can't see the filter action, make sure this is checked, show actions for all sheets in the workbook. We're going to edit the action, go back and remove all fields and selected fields. We're going to leave this blank down here, so all it's going to do is move from Dashboard 1 to Dashboard 2 and hit OK. So now back on Dashboard 1, we go through, all it's going to do is go to Dashboard 2. No filtering is going to happen. So now let's add a highlight action. To do that, we go to Dashboard Actions, Add Action, Highlight, and we want to mimic the same selection options. So we want from the bar charts, the 4 bar charts, on select, to go to Dashboard 2, both charts. Target highlighting goes to all fields, and hit OK. So now when we hit medium, it's still going to show all of our marks, but the mediums are going to be highlighted, which is helpful for getting context for what we've selected. So far, we've been using the tabs to switch back to the service level dashboard every time we drill down to Dashboard 2, which is fine for us, but our users might do better with a more explicit link to return to the previous dashboard. So what we're going to do now is create a back button to allow our users to easily go back to the previous page. This isn't helpful if there's multiple paths to arrive at this detail page, but if there's only one way to get here, then there's only one way to go back, which makes this action very valuable. We're going to use a filter action to create this. But first, let's make a new sheet, and we'll make a new calculated field. We'll just call this back button. The formula is just going to be the number 1. And we'll go ahead and drag this out to our columns and set our mark type to a shape. And from shapes, choose a left-facing arrow. We also want to set this to be an average, so it always shows up at the 1 interval. We can edit the axis, and this is something that can give you a lot of control over where the text and the shape line up. So we want a fixed axis between, let's say, 0 and 4, and OK. And if this range is a lot smaller, we're able to see how we can align the arrow or the shape more towards the left and have more space for text. And you can control that by changing the size of your axis. For example, if we wanted it further over to the left, we can make it 0 through 10. And we can also hide this by right-clicking and unchecking Show Header. So now we need to put a label here that says back. So I'm just going to control drag to the label. It's going to make a copy of it. We'll edit the label. Instead of this, we'll put back and apply. So now let's change the color to green and maybe make it bigger. And let's also get rid of these borders around here. So right click, Format, Borders, and these are the row dividers. So we're going to set the row divider and column divider to none. You can see back goes away. Since we don't actually have a header, this won't show up. These two lines won't show up on our dashboard, but they will show up here. So now let's drag this out to dashboard 2. Actually, let's rename it while we're thinking about it. Back button, back to the dashboard, drag out back button. I'm going to hold shift because right now I'm set to tiled, but I want it to show up as floating. And let's hide the title. Right click, hide title, and let's make this box a bit smaller. We can also set it to fit entire view. So now the back button is on the page. Let's link it up to the actual action. To do this, we go to Dashboard Actions, and we add an action, a filter action. Let's call this back button. It's a good idea to name your actions. We haven't done it so far because there's a pretty manageable list, but when you start having multiple actions, it's a great idea to go ahead and name them. The source sheet's going to be Dashboard 2, just the back button. We want to go to Dashboard 1, and we don't want it to affect any of the views on that sheet. We also want it to run when we click on it, so the select action. And clearing the selection will show our values, shouldn't matter. We want to filter selected fields, but then we want to leave that blank. So it's not actually going to filter any fields. It's just going to work like a navigation. And then hit OK. So now clicking on back will jump us back to the dashboard 1. High will highlight our high priority orders, and back will jump us back. Excellent. So now we have two nice dashboards with functional interaction and navigation between them. The operational dashboard allows our fulfillment team to track the key service level metric on the first page and manage the shipment queue effectively on the second. So in this video, we covered filter and highlight actions and how they can switch views and focus the user's attention at the same time. You can use dashboard actions to create and manage your dashboard actions, and you can also create a back button to help guide the user when there's only one possible path to return. If there's multiple potential paths to get to that page, then filter action on a back button is probably not the way to go. So now that we've wrapped up the operational dashboard, in the next section we'll be creating an analytical dashboard to empower analysts to easily extract knowledge and insights from the data.